Hello everybody, Protofox here, coming back at you with another video, another appreciation video. And I've mentioned it a million times throughout all of my videos before, and this is going to be the starts of it here, but we are going to appreciate updated RID 2001 takes in Generations and One pre-Generations, because RID01 was what got me back into collecting Transformers. I loved the show, as goofy as it was. It was fun, it was entertaining. That's what I was looking for in a Transformers show at the time, especially considering that, I, funnily enough, sillily, if that's even a word, enough, did not get into Beast Wars. I was a teenager at the time. I was into other things, starting to learn how to play guitar, this, that, and the other thing. So I just, kind of really stepped away from toy collecting and this and that. But RID01 sucked me back in. And the fact that we're getting sprinklings of RID01 love throughout the throughout the generations in different lines, because like I said, one here predates it and you can see it on there, but we'll talk about it in a minute. But especially now with Legacy and stuff like that, we're in Age of the Primes, because there are some more coming. But I actually, with the exception of the HasLab Omega Prime set, I believe this is close to being it. There might be like maybe some off-the-wall RID Scourges might be floating around. I'm not entirely certain, but RID01 has literally not gotten as much love, even as the Unicron trilogy, which in a previous video I spoke about before, because RID01 was handled by Saban, which is now owned by Disney, and Disney will not let that go at all. Outside of bootleg DVDs here in the States, you can't even get a collected version of the series on any kind of home video access. I mean, they don't even put it up on streaming services. So Disney is literally just sitting on this and they don't care. And I'm going to say this now for all, the small handful of people that watch my content, that I appreciate, by the way. I love all of you. I don't care if it's 10 of you. I don't care if it's 100 of you. I don't care if it's 1,000 of you. Because things wildly fluctuate. But that's just the nature of this beast here on YouTube. Don't misunderstand when I'm not downplaying anybody who clicks on my videos and watch them. I appreciate every single one of you. I love every single one of you, and I try to interact with every single one of you when I can. I do this for fun. I'm not going out there looking to be some kind of big name YouTube whatever. So don't think I'm diminishing anybody who watches my content, anybody who subscribes to my channel. I'm not downplaying any of that, but I just say that maybe there's one of the oh God, how do I say this without being sounding insulting? It's so terrible now that I stop myself. One of the handful of folks that enjoy my content, that I love and appreciate. Somebody has some kind of ties to Disney somewhere. Tell them to free RID01, damn it. Give us back our RID01, because this is, for what it was a fun franchise. It was a fun toy line. Yes, the original 01 toy line, which I will be doing like retrospective reviews of those toys, because I have the vast majority of them. Again, I've mentioned numerous times that I've downsized my collection over the years. So a lot of the redecos that I had back then, because I was a completionist collector, I had just about every single redeco. I had like 5, what was it, like the 3 or 4 different releases of like even the Tiny Tin Spy Changers. But when I realized they were basically all the same figures, they just came with a different tin, or again, like the Car Brothers does hurt my feelings a little. Does hurt my soul a little bit that I got rid of the redecoed Car Brothers, because I actually like those. But here it is. I do still have both RID01, Megatron, and Galvatron, though. That's important. But anyway, I digress. Talk about toys. But RID01 was what got me back into Transformers, so I have a massive, massive soft spot for it. I still watch my bootleg DVD of the show on the daily. And yes, I understand car robots in Japan. RID-01 was a gap filler until they could get everything ready for Armada. I understand that, but for me, it had such a huge impact. And I'm sure there's others out there too that had a very similar impact, but this is the line that got me back into collecting Transformers. And being the Transformers fan I am, it's what caused me to get a Decepticon tattoo. You know, this, that, and the other thing. You know, and that's an old tattoo, by the way. This here is probably, when did I have this done? I was in my early 20s. I'm 45 now. So easily probably 22, 23-year-old tattoo. Should have it touched up eventually. But anyway, digress. This was the line that did this. This was the franchise, or this was the part of the franchise series that did this. And it actually gave us a lot of things now that are still kind of mainstay in the franchise to this day. This was the first time we got a black redecoed Prime. And, you know, as an evil Optimus Prime. You know, Scourge here, Black Convoy, and Car Robots. And then, of course, it led way to Nemesis Prime, this and that. So a lot of firsts. But anywho, let's talk about toys. First off, this would have been probably the first one I got. No, I take that back. That's wrong. Because I did get these all like when they released. This one here. And he's showing his age, but still in relatively good shape because I've had this since it came out. RID Optimus Prime. He's in his super mode. This is the titanium, so he's probably one of a couple of actual titanium toys that were decent. Now, obviously, you know, you come in here, his head paint's faded there. I can probably touch that up. But he was decently articulated, you know, not perfect, but is what it is. Transformed decent. But he does have decent articulation. He doesn't fall apart like your typical titanium figure does when you move him and play with him. And he's, you know, good deluxe sized approximation of Optimus Prime in a super mode. And I feel like it does its job. If I had the, like $400 now, I would actually have my hands on the Omega Prime set and happily replace that. But he's actually not even sitting on my shelf. I just broke him out for the purpose of this video. But then we go into what was next. And this is the Fun Pubs Transformers Collector Club. This is another mail away exclusive. This is obviously Sideburn and a redecoed tongue stopper, redecoed Classics Hot Rod, and that works for him. Definitely a cool updated take. Looks good, you know, definitely decent. But then we go into Thrilling 30, and that gave us an updated take on Skybite. We do have an Age of the Primes one coming down, and again, I like this one. I enjoyed this one. His shark mode was cool. But definitely not without his flaws. You know, his shoulders and stuff, you know, the way his articulation works is little bit wonky, but definitely good looking. Definitely gives us the vibe of Skybite, and I dig him. And it's Skybite. Yeah, you can't go wrong with Skybite. And an updated take on Skybite is always welcomed. Obviously, the Age of the Primes toy that's coming out will definitely be more accurate, but I do like my updated takes. I can't wait to get my hands on that Skybite though, because you gotta have every Skybite you can get your hands on. And I do in fact even have the Cyberverse Skybite somewhere. He's packed away, but you know, these are the ones that were out on my shelves, and there you go. And then up next, obviously, we get into Legacy, and we have Tow-Line here, and Tow-Line was a character on the show that I loved. He was just this big, dopey dude, you know, no parking means no parking. And I loved him. And yes, he is a redeco, slight retool of the Junkion. I forget the name to save my life, but the tow truck of the Junkion. And it works for him. He's in his Mystery Mobile colors, which, you know, I never realized that until it was pointed out to me, and then now I can't unsee it. It works for him. I dig the Mad Max aesthetic for Tow-Line here. It's a nice little update. The head sculpt, though, again, spot on. I love it. You know, it's great. That's Tow-Line. You know, can't complain there. And then we got probably my favorite redeco of all time, and that even goes for the original toy, and any subsequent black redeco of Optimus Prime, and that is RID Scourge. And now people, and I've said this in my review of the, because a lot of these I've done reviews on. I think I'm only missing a review of Toe Line, and then I'll probably do a retrospective review on Skybite. But I said in my review, a lot of people complained about this not being accurate to the original toy. Yeah, you are correct. It is not accurate to the original Toys R Us exclusive Laser Rod Optimus Prime repaint into Scourge. But this is accurate to a Optimus Prime redeco as Scourge in RID-01, and that would be the Destructicon Scourge. His chest was black and it had these highlights. So it was there. So you can drop the whole, oh, it's so bad because it's not completely accurate complaints. You can leave them at the door, because that toy is awesome. I will never not appreciate the Laser Optimus Prime toy in general, whether it be the original one or the legacy version, and that one's awesome. And then finally, this was the most recent one, and that is at Legacy Sideburn. I've done a review on this. We all know the story on this one, a pre-tool or a retool of Shadow Striker, and everybody was calling it right out the gate once that Shadow Striker toy was released that was the pre-tool for Sideburn. And again, people have bagged on it. You know, the car mode isn't accurate. Well, of course the car mode isn't accurate, because the original toy was a licensed Dodge Viper. So we've got a very stylized take on this. Oh, he's too small. Oh, he's this. Oh, he's that. Shh. 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 This works. It's cool. It fits his look. It fits the aesthetic they were going for. He looks like he's a very nimble, very quick guy. I've probably said as much in my review of the toy. I enjoyed this one. I was anticipating this one. I love this one. And Sideburn, honestly, was one of my favorite characters in the show. So it's like, I feel like it couldn't go wrong. Anyway, that's that. Not as much as the Unicron Trilogy one, because there isn't obviously as much that they've done with RID-01. But that's because we have been unfortunately forced into forgetting about RID-01, because Saban owns it and we can't get, re-release stuff. But, maybe one day Disney will free RID-01 and let fans enjoy the show again the way it was meant to be enjoyed, this and that. Until then, hopefully we can hope to get more updated RID-01 figures. Hopefully we get Prowl and X-Brawn to go along with Sideburn here, complete the Car Brothers. Maybe we'll get a new version of RID Megatron down the pipeline. I mean, he did show up in some IDW comics, the design did, and this and that. So it would be nice to get an updated take on him, because that was a cool design. Maybe we'll get the other Predacons, Gasskunk, Slapper, and Night Scream, and to complement the Skybites and what have you. But all wishful thinking. Maybe even a retail release of some sort of Optimus Prime, and not having to pay for paying an exorbitant amount of money on a HasLab that was coming out of the box broken. And I'm not going to join any of the discourse on it. I've said my thoughts on it online, and I'll say it here because I haven't said it on the channel. A toy that costs you $300 to $400 that is crowdfunded and comes out of the box broken is an issue, and that's all I'm going to say about that. But I would love a retail release of RID Prime, some kind, but whatever, is what it is. And that's it. I love RID-01. You're going to start seeing retrospective reviews of the original toys coming really, really soon, because I love that line still to this day. And my toys have held up. My 01 toys have held up. Even the rubber tires, they're still intact. Knock on wood. Because I say that now and they're all just going to rot away. But that's it. I'll leave you all with this. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a like. Shoot a subscribe my way. I greatly appreciate it. Hell, let's talk about some of these toy lines. I should have said this in the Armada video, the Unicron Trilogy video. Let's talk about them. Share some of your memories with this stuff. I always talk about our ID01 very, very fondly. I love the line so much, and it has such a big place in my heart for me because it's what got me back in. Let's talk about it. Drop some stuff in the comments below. And I'll say unto you all this. Be kind to yourself and your fellow human beings because life is too short. So play on, and I will see you in the next video. RIDO1.